A blessed Wednesday, brothers and sisters, and welcome to Word from Home. Our reflection today is taken from the Gospel of Matthew 6, verse 1 to 6 and 16 to 18. In today's reading, Jesus reminds us of what should be the posture of our heart when it comes to these three spiritual disciplines that are important in showing our love to God, and that are almsgiving, praying, and fasting. And in the Gospel, Jesus tells us repeatedly that when we do these three things, we should do it in secret, so that our Father, who sees what kept in secret, will reward us openly. Let's start with almsgiving. Do we give and help others to draw attention and impress? Or do we give so that we could bring praise to ourselves? When I was reflecting on the first passage, I was trying to apply it in our current time, wherein technology and social media are playing a big role in our society today. Di ba ngayon, ang bilis-bilis na lang mag-share or mag-post ng mga ginagawa natin sa social media. Based on my experience on my own social media, I noticed that there are three different types of giver or server. First is, there are people who helps by donating on charities, churches, or even in our community by giving through an co-op, wherein all of these have the goal of serving the poor. Ngayon, we can easily extend our help through those bank accounts, through those organizations who are posting in the social media and gathering funds to help those people in need. Example, during this calamity or during this pandemic or during the typhoon in the Philippines, we can see a lot of people and organizations na nagagather ng donation so that they could help those people in need. And number two is, there are people who might not be giving financially, but they are helping through volunteering acts. Yung mga taong nakikita natin na nandoon mismo sa actual packing of goods, sila mismo yung nagpapack ng goods, sila yung nag-distribute ng mga goods na yon to those people, to those places na nangangailangan ng help na yun. And third is, meron ding mga tao who can actually do both. They can help financially by donating money, and they have the ability also to do the volunteering acts. So, brothers and sisters, where are we on that category? The good news is, it doesn't matter where we are currently in that category, because the gospel reminds us that what matters most is our intention on doing that act of service for God. That may we always have a sincere heart and a pure intention of giving and helping the poor. A thought and an attitude of serving the Lord so that we could draw people to Him and bring praise and glory to His name. When we share our blessings to other people, most especially to the poor, it is also our way of recognizing all the blessings that we too are receiving from our generous God. And as in Paul says in 1 Corinthians 13, it doesn't matter how much money we give or how much we do. If we don't have love, we gain nothing. Second is praying. This passage of Matthew 6 verse 5 to 6 invite us to seek intimacy with God. Because when we seek Him privately, our motives remain genuine and desiring only to honor and please God. Not only by praying secretly that we show our sincerity to God, but it also helps us focus more and to focus clearly to God alone. How amazing it is to know that our God, our Father, who loved us so much, is always waiting for us to have a silent moment with Him. And lastly, is fasting. What comes to your mind when you hear the word fast? Or especially when you are being asked, do you fast? Well, for me, Lent comes to my mind when I heard the word fasting. Which reminds me that today is Ash Wednesday, marks the beginning of Lenten season. In the first two spiritual disciplines that I have mentioned earlier, both almsgiving and praying points into the same motive, which is the sincerity of our hearts. And you know what? The third spiritual discipline, which is fasting, is actually one way to help us to purify our intentions. Because when we fast, we are actually letting go of something that getting into the way of our relationship with God. I still remember that I used to practice fasting back in the Philippines with my family. My parents will not serve any kind of meat during Friday on whole season of Lent. So hanggang sa every year nakakasanayan na namin siyang gawin. And to the point na nakakalimutan na namin why are we even doing that. Yes, we may be depriving ourselves from food or from entertainment. But sometimes, we forgot that the goal and objective of fasting is our way of humbling ourselves in the sight of God so that we could receive Him, so that we could receive His direction, we could eliminate the distractions so that we could fully listen to the voice of our Father. And maybe this time we could try a different way of fasting. Maybe we could fast from busyness of this world. We could fast from gossips, excuses, complaints, anger, and maybe we could fast from being ungrateful. Maybe when we start giving up these things, we will end up gaining self-control and grow more in love. In this season of Lent, our Lord is reminding us once again to align our hearts with the heart of Jesus. For a right heart attitude and a pure intention is what God cares the most. Whether we do it in the act of praying, giving, or fasting. He wants us to do these three things for the right reason. For Matthew 6 verse 21 says, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will also be." So brothers and sisters, let our faith shown through our actions or deeds, and our deeds be inspired by love. For Galatians 5 verse 6 says, "Faith works through love." And for all of this, may God be praised.